All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. I think Facebook is just connecting, so I have one more thing to do. Excuse me. All right. Okay, perfect. Now I can see comments. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. It is Mimosa Hotline, and I am so excited to be here with you today. I have Ronnie Bartless, our business strategist. I have a guest for you, Bill Cohen of Cohen Caregiving, and myself, Ashley, your brand strategist. Where am I going? I'm trying to be a business strategist today. And today we're just excited because it is a guest hot seat. So in these moments, these are our friends, our colleagues, our clients sometimes that hop on and they would like to kind of pick our brains on certain topics or get review of different things. And so to give a little background here, Bill and I actually we were just talking about this, so I feel like I'm stuttering, but bear with me, people. Bill and I used to be in a networking group together when I took over the eWomen Network chapter here in Portland, Oregon as the managing director. He was one of our E-males, which was a male member of this women's organization. And he was always such a support and a fabulous connector and just good energy in the room. And a couple, I don't know, was it like days ago, weeks ago? I don't know, timeline, but he sent me this really kind message that he had been watching one of our past videos. He still thought it was valuable. And I was like, hey, I might have something for you. And so we invited him here today. So welcome, Bill.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. And I don't have a mimosa, but I've got my electrolytes. Cheers.
I've got coffee. I've got tea. We're still working on that sponsorship, Bill. It will come shortly. Yes. We promise. So today, before we get started, does anyone have top of mind thoughts, feelings, emotional outbursts?
Emotional outbursts.
Somebody said that and I had to adopt it. Like ever since I heard that, like when you're asking, like, do you have any questions? Instead of any questions, it's do you have thoughts, feelings, or emotional outbursts? And I was like, yum. So I have adopted
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So to be really specific and use your own words here, Bill, when you kind of submitted your form to us, and excuse me, I'm going to be rotating my screen all day long here, but hello, viewers, say hi. He was curious, is my brand messaging and niche consistent and focused, or can it be sharpened on any points? And so what we have all of our guests do, just so everyone knows, is fill out kind of this questionnaire that just gives us all the data, because as everyone should know by now, Ronnie and I love data. So it's all of your social media links, your website, any promo material, like anything you can give us, and then we kind of look at it. So for me, when someone asks about consistency, I kind of take it to my 3C review, which is consistency, cohesion, and charisma. And whenever I look at a brand and I want to know, are they on brand? The most basic element are those three. Is it consistent across every single platform that I pull up Facebook and I pull up Instagram or I pull up LinkedIn? Do they look the same consistently? Is it cohesive that the message from social media flows to the website, flows to who you are in person? And is it like charismatic, meaning like, is there a human, or do I feel like I just got to like this templated, like basic thing? So that's kind of how I review things. But before we kind of like dive in more, what do you have additional questions for us? Do you want to just hear our feedback on things? Like, how can we best support you? Like, what's going on in your world right now?
I think I would like to hear what you have to say first. I'm sure it'll generate questions. I think the main things that are happening right now, like you said, being consistent. I continue to talk to people everywhere, and network and gain clients and collaborators everywhere, not just in the Pacific Northwest. And that's been the nice thing about the pandemic. I like to say, okay, got handed lemons, I made limoncello.
Limoncello. I love it. Cool.
Because I ended up doing podcasts from New England to New Zealand. I've visited the eWomen chapter meetings all over the country and in Canada.
Yeah.
My Facebook community is on 6 continents. I haven't found a caregiver, a penguin in Antarctica yet, but I'm working.
I'm sure there's one.
Probably is.
That's fun. Yeah, so, I don't know. Yeah.
I was gonna say, Bill, why don't you give us like your quick elevator speech is like, because I don't know you, you know Ashley, and I don't, this is the first we've met. So like if we were meeting and I'd be like, so what do you do? What would like your elevator speech be, so that we can kind of give some context to probably everybody and myself as to like what you say and how you say it and how you present it.
Well, I'm going to give you a little different wrinkle because I love this thing. It's fun. And it actually came with help from another eWomen member. So my business is like New England clam chowder. And not just because I'm from there. Because chowder is usually served at the beginning of a meal to whet your appetite for what's going to follow. I most frequently help family caregivers at the beginning of their journey to help them prepare for what's coming next or ahead. So my chowder, a hearty bowl, is on the stove. May I serve you a bowl? So to follow up on that, I was my late mother's caregiver for about 10 years. She passed away 9.5 years ago. What I like to say is that I turned my personal loss and my pain into my passion and my encore career, because my last career was 25 years with the state of Oregon, completely unrelated, unfulfilling, strictly for the compensation and the benefits. This is what I was meant to do. And the final part is, and it's my simpler tagline since you asked, is I can support you. I've been there.
So the one thing I didn't notice is it talked about caregivers, but you specifically work with dementia and Alzheimer's disease.
Mhm.
So that's the one thing, like it could be but you could do caregiving for any terminal kind of illness.
Correct.
Yes.
There are a lot of similarities. Caregiving to a great extent is caregiving. Mhm.
Yeah.
But my experience, my specialty, my niche is dementia and Alzheimer's. And I talk about that all the time in my messaging.
So when you say that, like when caregiving, give me like, what does that look like if I were hiring you? What does that kind of look like as far as support? I'm caregiving, say for a parent. What kind of support does that look like for me with working with you?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to answer your question with a question.
Okay.
If you're a caregiver, whether you are or not, or you know somebody who is,
yeah,
what words come to mind when you think about how that dementia caregiver is feeling?
Overwhelmed.
That's the one I hear the most.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, I would think so.
Alone, exhausted.
You just took my word. Wait, Bill, I was gonna say exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since when do you get shy about speaking up, Ashley?
No, because actually you're speaking with one of the greats. So I'm not shy about speaking. It's just you've got a really incredible human in front of you, and I like to let it shine when it's shining.
So imagine if someone could help them, dementia caregivers, go through their own journey, like going with my mom, and handle all the different matters, provide advice, resource support, and referrals, collaborate with all the different service providers, professionals. I like to say I don't compete with anyone. I collaborate with everyone.
Amen.
And help reduce the caregiver's stress and that feeling of being overwhelmed. Sleep better at night, less stress. That's what I do.
Okay.
Also, something that just came to my mind is navigate the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's just like being handed a basket of like unknown, like there's some clarity of like initial questions to ask and initial things to Google, like basics, like parent with memory loss or parent with this, like insert diagnoses or whatever. But I wonder how many people actually understand, or, you know, maybe because of like generations. So for example, something that's coming through is just like Alzheimer's is genetic. Am I right? I'm pretty sure it is. So like sometimes, right. So like if a grandparent had it and then the, you know, parent had it and then whatever, like there might be some like peripheral knowledge of like what what happened with so-and-so and how that was taken care of, or maybe a friend of a friend or something that, you know, but it's just like this basket of like, you pull things out that you don't even know what they are. It's like a dingle hopper like, well, you know, like, what is all this stuff? And I think that level of just like, oh, there's somebody else that knows this is kind of like, you know, on anything in life, when you meet somebody that's done something you haven't, you just have questions. And then my favorite question is like, what should I be asking?
Right.
I don't even know what to ask. Like, what should I be asking?
What you don't know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I love that.
Think about when I was starting my journey back in the mid 2000s. There was a lot less information. There was a lot fewer resources. It was harder to find. I usually use the analogy, I think we're all old enough here, about let your fingers do the walking through the yellow pages, right? I mean, there's a lot of phone calls. Now there are directories. There's a lot of information.
Wow. Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh my God. Only having the yellow pages.
Basically, yeah, there wasn't much on the internet at that time. We were all in the infancy. Now there's a lot of information, there's a lot of misinformation. You can find a lot of resources, but how do you know who to trust? And so back then I was floundering, like you were alluding to. I didn't know where to turn, I didn't know where to go. One of the first things I did was contact the Alzheimer's Association, including their website, started attending a support group, which I facilitate to this day, 17 years later. I became the facilitator 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So to find that information, that support, knowing you're not alone, it's in a safe, confidential environment. I mean, it was invaluable. If it hadn't been a good experience, I would be sitting here today talking to you.
Yeah.
I would have walked away and say, I'm done when my mom passed away.
So in respect to your intro and like your elevator speech, as we call it, I'm curious, do you have one kind of that you use, or do you have flexibility that maybe you've got like one variation, two variations, three variations that kind of like in the moment, depending on who's asking or what the moment is, you can kind of apply it. Do you have that, or do you kind of have one?
Exactly. What I like to say is, okay, tell me how much time I have.
Okay.
Is it 10 to 15 seconds, like at a chamber meeting or something?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be that I'm the presenter and I want to tell a bit about my story? Do I have 15, 20 minutes? Do I have an hour?
Yeah.
I am flexible, yes.
The reason I asked that is because like the setup that Ronnie shared with you is like, hey, I just met you, we're out, like, I'm curious, like, what do you do? And then you clam chowder her. I'm curious if like in reality, that would have been like, okay, that's a little salesy. Like, I wouldn't have taken that. I would have been like, all right, clam chowder, see you later. But like in networking environments or speaking, you know, the point is to get to know you and be a human and kind of share like that. And that's the reason I asked that, is for you, but also viewers that are going to be watching this, the importance of having, yes, like a general topic of points that you're going to hit, but realizing and adapting to when you're sharing what, because you didn't do this, but like I've seen it before, just in like, I'm gonna say it bold and bluntly. The financial and insurance industries get real salesy when like you just got to the bar and got a Chardonnay.
Here's my card. Want to buy life insurance?
Yeah. Or like, oh yeah, or the MLMers. Like, don't get me started on them. Like, woo. Gotta like run for cover.
Can I give a quick example? Can I give a quick example where I think it's comparable to that?
Yeah.
People ask me, what did you used to do for the state?
Okay.
So I will ask the question approach. Do you know what a CDL is? Commercial driver license.
Yeah.
Okay. So the big trucks and buses. So I used to travel all over Oregon and make sure that people were given the test to drive those big rigs and buses were doing their job right. All right. Now, if I'd said to you instead, I was a regulatory compliance inspector for DMV.
Sexy.
That's about as bad as the life insurance agent, right?
Yeah.
People just, check, please. Can I talk to anybody else?
Yeah. First, hello, Tina. I see you. Thank you for joining us. We have a viewer. I'm super excited. She gave us lots of hearts and likes about having multiple introductions when you're going to networking events. So I love that. So hey girl, hey. But yeah, what you're saying though, is what I like about you and what you just re-emphasized again is that you make the complex simple. And I like that. That's a general theme I see with you. Now, I know you more than maybe Ronnie does, but I think that is a core value I would emphasize as well in your marketing and things, especially like Alzheimer's. Some people don't know how to spell the damn word, let alone like it's a complex topic, dementia. Let's be honest, we're about to lose our mind in general. So like making it simple you know, bite size is great. And I think I just used your own metaphor again. If we want to use food analogies, it's bite size pieces, or, you know, you're the appetizer or the main, you know, first course to the main course of disaster. Like, I don't know how you want to roll with it, but, you know, all of that comes into play.
Well, let me embellish upon your question. I would use it in different places, like at a chamber meeting, or if I was a guest at a BNI or at eWomen, kind of liven things, spice things up to give a better idea of what I do, not a same old, but when I'm starting more a longer presentation, it will be more along the lines of the question I asked. Do you know, or have you been a caregiver for dementia? And usually when I ask that question, at least 2/3 of the people raise their hands, which immediately gets everybody's attention. Oh my God, more people are dealing with this than I realized. I'm in a niche, but there are millions of people in it.
And I actually like that better first. Leading with that, if you had to pick one to generalize all situations, I would lead with that. It's just, you know, I'm thinking of every situation. I'm at the bar, I'm whispering at a networking event, I'm, you know, at an eWomen network event, or I'm in a speaking situation. It goes straight to the point, and automatically I'm thinking, and automatically I want to know more, and like what comes next. Oh my gosh, this cat.
Cat drama.
Where's Moolah?
And to build on that, I was going to say, to build on that a little bit too, like leading with the question of caregiver and being very specific into your niche, then can lead into an analogy. Starting with the analogy, I'm like, wait, I have an analogy here and I get what you're saying, but I don't know what it's for. So I think that's a good pre-qualifier into the analogy that you use, so that people get context around what this analogy is going to be about now. You know, as well as asking, we do this in marketing all the time, even on sales pages and stuff, you lead with a question, because that's how you get straight to the pain point of what people are dealing with. So, you know, that works all the time with marketing kinds of.
It's like, if I want to mute a conversation and somebody's like, what do you do? I say, I have a branding agency. They're like, I don't know what that is.
What I do.
Like they're gone, like instantly gone. So leading with that though, you
Especially
know,
if they're an employee or something, they're not going to.
Right. And I think in our world, where we are more groomed as entrepreneurs to kind of like listen in for key details, as you just said, the employee doesn't have that mindset or programming of conversation. They don't want a story. They're going to be confused, like,
let alone collaboration and support.
So I love that, leading in with that question. Okay, so where to next?
So I have a place to go on this. Okay. So a lot of what you talked about, particularly in your niche, and a lot of the words you used, as far as I said overwhelmed, Ashley would have said exhausted. A lot of those words I have noticed are not really prominent on the website and the messaging of that. And I have another just very tactical thing too, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. I actually have it up so that I can like see what I'm doing and remember what I'm talking about.
Rodney. Like, I think we can screen share. We may be able to.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know that we necessarily need to, but but I mean, we've got a big bold heading here above the fold that leads with a question, which is definitely, from a marketing perspective, a great way to start a conversation for sure. But the answer to that is, you can be, I can support you, I've been there, which are all great things, but I'm not feeling how I feel as the client, right? So I think that in any marketing, and I say this when I talk to people about websites, we didn't necessarily touch on this on our website conversation, but something I do talk about with people with websites when they come to me and they're like, okay, I need help with my website. Lots of times I make them, as an exercise, sit down and look at all of the words on their website, all the copy, all the content they have, and I have them physically count how many times they say you and how many times they say I.
Amen.
And some very strict marketing copyright people will tell you, you cannot say I in any of your copy because your customer doesn't care about you.
Unless
They
it's on the
do.
about page about
Yeah,
you.
yeah. And I will put a little asterisk on that. They do, but they are looking to solve their problem, right? And so lots of times I tell my clients, I'm not that strict about you can't ever use an I or a we. I tend to go with an 80-20 rule. I want you to talk 80% of the time about me, the customer, and 20% of the time about how you can help me. And so I think that like right up front on the like very above the fold website, which we talked about, anything that's, you know, above where you start scrolling, like that real estate really needs to catch my attention on me as the customer. So, I mean, I will say kind of going through, you know, all of the links that you sent us, I think consistency wise, there's a lot of consistency there as far as like who you are and your messaging and your colors and all of those things and kind of like that piece of it. But I think that there's room for improvement on how to talk about it. Because I think when we were talking, I've totally got it. I'm like, okay, I get how you can help me. I like, you're solving my problem, but I'm not seeing that like right away when I land on your website. So I think that's just something to consider, maybe like work on.
No, and also to give context, just so everyone knows who is not currently looking at the website, the question is, want to be the best caregiver for your person living with dementia and you. And then it says, you can be, I can support you, I've been there. So that's where the eyes are coming from that we're referencing. But what I would really love to do on this is kind of an interesting thing. And usually it's been overdone. So I'd want to execute it in the right way. But where there's this purple background, which is you, which is great, I would almost make it into a word cloud of all these things that come to mind.
Yeah,
what's next? I'm exhausted, or not, and not full sentences, but like what's next? I would put as one of the word cloud things, and then put exhaustion, overwhelm, all the words that you hear your people say as like a textured background. Does that make sense? So it'd be like the words on top, and then in a purple box on top of that, I would have your question. But again, how it's even written here, it's kind of every word is capitalized. I would have done it just like a normal sentence. The first word is capitalized, and then want to be the best. I would put that best caregiver in all caps for your person living with dementia. Question mark, not living with dementia and you're not trying to be the best caregiver for you. Like you will put yourself first. That doesn't even relate to this person. And then I would have your answers below, but I could just see that popping. Can you kind of visualize that with me? Like words, texture.
I know it's the how, but I take it that'd be something you do like in Canva.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or yeah. Canva, you could do, you just let out a little, whoop. Are you building this website yourself? Gotcha. Okay. Yes, that's something you could do in Canva. We would just need to give you some kind of what we call specs or dimensions. Like what is the dimension of that banner? Super easy to figure that out ish. Well, when you have that, then yeah, I would do like words. Do you know like what I mean? Like just scattered words, probably in black and white, or you could do black and purple. That'd be a little much, but I would do black and white, slightly faded. So it's not like super there, but it's just in the background, kind of the thoughts, faded thoughts.
Subliminal.
Yeah.
There's also a
word cloud generator.
Yeah, word cloud generator. I think it's a Wordle is what I've used before, where you just copy and paste text in there and it pulls out all of the words that were like used the most and like makes those bigger. Like say, overwhelmed is mentioned 100 times and it's the biggest. And then the next one's slightly smaller. And so it kind of like makes this dimension. It's really cool. And that's a really easy way to kind of pull that imagery forward with all of those feelings that I might be having as a client.
And next level is if it doesn't generate the words that you want or to emphasize, then use that as kind of the base and build it in Canva, or get like one of us. I mean, that would take us literally 5 minutes, probably. Like not 5 minutes. It's going to take longer with all the words and stuff, but it's kind of like my word wig that I do for my personas. And I'm just thinking of like these subtle words that aren't like, I'm not talking sharp black and white. I'm talking faded in the background. And then this beautiful question that stands out from the rest. It just kind of creates this moment for people to have
Really?
landed, they see themselves. But here's the one question: do you want to be the best caregiver for your person? Because I think the answer is yes. And I wouldn't even put the answers. I would just leave the question. Do you want to be the best caregiver for your person living with dementia or Alzheimer's or whatever you want to say? Actually, because of your audience, maybe just leave it with, do you want to be the best caregiver for your person? Because that way, if it's Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever it is, like you can. Now, I think Ronnie would say no niche and put those two, but you know, whatever it is, she was like, yeah, put them. Okay, so put them. And then that just kind of sets the tone. Now I'm ready to scroll in. And then as we scroll down, now you start with reviews. Okay. But I think I put the reviews down a little bit because now, you know, and then now, okay, so your support next for us, it says support and speaking across North America and beyond. So am I hiring a speaker or am I hiring a support person? So I might say like supporting North America and beyond through speaking and caregiving or something, but I don't really love that. That just positions you as a speaker, which if you want to be, that's great. But I feel like you want to be the consultant before you want to be the caregiver, or sorry, everybody, the consultant before you want to be the speaker.
Yeah.
Sorry. So yeah. And then it just jumps straight into a plan, like a service plan. So I kind of need more. It's like, okay, so the way I like to explain this to some people, because I think it makes it easier, is if you think of your home, like, I just gave it away. There you go. If you think of your website like a home, it's like walking into the foyer. Like you walk into somebody's front, you know, the first area, and they're like, oh, hey, welcome in. Right this way. It's not, hey, welcome in. I have everything, you know, like I'm ready to serve you. I'm ready, you know, like whatever it is at the front door, you got to let them in a little bit more. So
make them comfortable.
Yeah, make them comfortable, welcome them in. If anything, I could see a welcome video from you because you're so charismatic and so personable. Like I would ask them that question, then, you know, have a welcome video from you, and then a few testimonials at the bottom. Keep it simple, keep it sweet. And then, okay, now I've met him. Now I want to go learn more about working with you. And in your menu, which I like to say is how you want people to journey through, like what do you want them to do? Like if they literally were Simon says step, like what does Simon say? So it says working with me, supporting you, what they say, resources for you, and monthly blog. So you first working with you, then support. So it's first about working with you, then it's about supporting me, what others are saying, resources. So these are all perfect. It's just out of order, right? Like I think the first thing I want to see is resources. Then I need support for me. And then I'll talk about working with you. But right now it's like out of order. So I would just
the only problem with the resources that's a list of links to other people.
It doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Because you are, the first thing you told us was that you're collaborative. There's no competition. And that list of resources tells me that you're resourceful, you're connected, you've got all the resources. I'm not going to go there and be like, oh, thanks, Belle. And then off I go. You're still my general contractor. You're still my, what's a better word for that? But like, you're still my point of
coordinator, navigator, coach.
Yeah.
So I have an idea for this, and you can take it or leave it however you want. You could take the resources page and par it down a little bit to the things that are a few here and there that might be some of the most not necessarily important, but the first places they go or something like that. And then take all of the rest of them and put them into a guide or a PDF, and then have them sign up for your email list. And that's your lead magnet. That's their free download to get the rest of the resources that they might need, because now they're on your list. So they've gotten the resources and now they're on your list to help with those resources.
That's an objective, obviously, yes.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's to build list, as well as kind of, to your point, I know what you're saying is those resources are not me. I am steering them away from me.
That's like doing a social media post or a blog. You have a link, it takes them away from you.
So, and I get what you're saying with that, I know where your thought process is going, because I agree with you. I want to keep people on the website as long as we can, right? I don't want them to click away, but the journey of it does make sense of resources, then me, your resources, and help me, and then working with you. So that makes sense as far as the journey, but tactically I get what you're saying. So I think the way to solve that is make the resources not so robust and make them give you their email address to get that list.
And don't be afraid to keep your resources close to the vest in the beginning of this, because again, one of your values is
they're just exploring,
right? It's just simplifying. So it's great that you have all of these resources, but they get them once they come to you. It would be like me posting my vendor list. Like, I would feel the exact same way. I would be like, but that just like that. No, you can see on the website, my core team is there. I've got Kelly Mooney for photography, Ronnie for marketing, my website development team, but I don't always use them in every project. Sometimes the project requires other people, so I don't have everybody out there, but it shows like I've got my connections. And the other thing that I would say on this menu is even more simplification. So in my world, it would be like resources, support. So resources would be resources for you. Support would be support you. Services would be the working with me. What they say, I would leave as testimonials or reviews or anything. But I think what they say is trying to be too cute, and it just needs to be like, because I'm desperate, I'm overwhelmed, I'm freaking out, somebody's dying, I feel like I'm dying, like I just need like resources, support, services, hire you. Done.
And there is actual data and statistics to support that. When you look at how many times people click on links on your site, or you see a heat map or anything like that, when you're using like cutesy phrases for things that are very simple, like about and testimonial, they won't click on it. They don't like, we're so overwhelmed that making our brains make the connection of, you know,
that's going to tell me about you
what they say. And my brain has to think about, oh, that means testimonials. I'm too overwhelmed to even make the connections. So like, yeah, the data actually does support that. Going with very traditional navigation, you know, headlines just works better for people. They're more likely to click on it because they don't have to think about it so hard.
And if we also look at like big box places, Target or Walmart, like just anything big, Nordstrom's, whatever, it is that simple. Like it really, we overcomplicate it in a way. And I also really want you to step back into which you're so great at because you work with them all the time, but like think like, and I'm not trying to, what am I trying to do? Let's make an observation of your clientele. They're exhausted. They're barely with it. Like they're like, you know, that friend that needs a coffee and they're just saying like crazy shit or like can't get their words together. Like we need yours to be like a cup of coffee that just is simple. I walk up like decaf regular. Yes. Like, because I think they're going to also have another thing is decision fatigue. They're not only making decisions for themselves all day long, but someone else. So the simpler, the better. And like the monthly blog that I would put under resources, like have as a drop down below. Let me ask a quick question. You said you're building this out yourself, which is amazing, but what's the platform? Is it WordPress, Wix, Squarespace? What do you use?
GoDaddy. I saw it at the bottom. It's
GoDaddy. Okay. I haven't actually.
It's easiest for me to figure out 6 years ago.
Yeah, no. And hey, this is okay. People are allowed to build their own. It's fabulous. We just like to give a little direction on things. Some of it too might be formatting. Some of it we might need a little bit of a website developer just to help out with some things. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on that. On the blog being a drop down on resources.
Okay.
Only because I like that there's 5 across, and it balances for me a little bit better from a design perspective.
Fine. Probably when I saw it with the 4, I'd be like, yeah. So also I would take off monthly and just put blog.
Yeah. And the other thing that I noticed when I click on that, it's a link to your campaign archive. So you must write your blog in MailChimp and then do it like that. As a blog, number one, you are losing out on a ton of SEO potential. That's really the only thing a blog is good for anymore is SEO, because Google loves words. That's what it's built on.
Like
it
all
loves words.
text as opposed to photos, right?
Right. Well, it loves photos too, but you got to name the photos right. It can't be photo one. Nobody's searching for photo one, right? So Google loves words. And so having a link that clicks someplace else, you are losing out on a ton of traffic on keywords. Like nobody's finding you because there's no words here. It's just a link someplace else. So I would move my blog over to the site, and then on your emails, kind of
link back to the site.
Yeah. So I there are two strategies on it. And this is really kind of more of a personal decision for you. I have seen some people where they're like, people won't click out of my email. They just want to read it all in email, which might be sort of the case for your people, is kind of what I'm thinking. And in that case, they've already opted into you. You just take your blog post from the website, copy and paste it into your email. Don't make it different, right? And I suspect, my guess is based on the people you're dealing with, that might be the best strategy. But I have also seen people do emails where it gives like the first paragraph or the teaser and it's a read more, click over to the site, only because one, now you're getting data points of how many people are opening your email and clicking through. And then now you get data on the site on what they're reading. So you can get more data points that way to kind of follow them in their journey and what interests them the most, which is it's a strategy. Like they're like, neither one is good or bad. And it can be just a personal decision on what's easiest for you and how to set it up. But I would 100% move all those blog posts onto the site and at least capture that SEO so that Google can start ranking you on some keywords. Like you're just straight up missing out.
But also,
I mean, sorry to be blunt
like,
about that, but
no, and that's good. But like from today on, right? Like, so whenever we give blunt advice, it's today on now, and like leave what you have and start today fresh and move on. And then because sometimes it's the overwhelm of like, I have 200 blogs. How am I ever going to get that over there? Or like, I don't know how to, like all that stuff. Like you can just start that over there. The other thing that kind of irks me, again, sorry on this one, is it says contact us, drop us a line. Is it you and you? Who's us?
Good question. I get asked that occasionally.
Yeah.
It goes back to the beginning that
it was done a while
change my name if I added anybody else on. I didn't know if I'd ever want to bring anybody else on. I certainly didn't want to be a manager or supervisor anymore. And really, it's the people that I collaborate with are the us. As I refer and collaborate with them to help take care of the families, it's that team of supporters.
Here's why I'm going to say just a hard no. When someone sends that email, does it go to you and all of the collaborators? So like right now it says name, email, message. If somebody sends a message, it goes to you. Not to the team, not to the collaborators. So unfortunately, no.
Well, and this brand is built on you.
Yeah.
You get to own your name in it. Like this, and people are buying you. You bring resources to the table, but they're actually buying you. Like my brand is built this way. Like they're buying me, not necessarily this big, huge team that they bring. So when you're kind of dealing with a personal brand, almost of that, like really just being honest about like, you're contacting me, contact me, and you do
and that's enough. Like feel that it's enough.
It's enough. Yeah. And on the homepage, you talk about, I can help. Like you're very singular in that. So just be consistent across the board on that kind of wording. Just, hey, I know what I'm doing. Contact me. And own it.
One thing I want to pull up too, just because it was on some other things, sorry to switch on us, but it's a thing that I also want to know what Ronnie has to say about this. So I'm curious, Ronnie, I'm trying to find it on his website. There's a few spots, but okay. So if you go to the resources for you, there's a QR code, but for everyone to give context, I've seen the QR code used in Bill's header image. Sorry, I have someone that's messaging me. I will get back to you shortly. On the Facebook, on LinkedIn and things. He's using the QR code in the banner image. Now I have a question because I think I have an opinion about this, but I was curious if I'm wrong. I may very well be wrong, but isn't a QR code intended to like scan to get information or scan because you're not already online? But if they're already online, why are you giving them a QR code? That's like being like,
that QR code goes back to your homepage.
Yeah, like wouldn't it just be like a wormhole to getting here where you already are? So you'd be like, whoop, whoop. Yeah. Like you come right back where you are. So I was gonna say maybe
go to the Calendly to set up the appointment.
Okay, but again, that's still like leading with work with me. Like I feel like I love the new, your new logo and everything that you have. Like I would just keep those banners real simple and formatted so that they're not blowing out, that they're actually the right size. But my whole point is I think we should keep the QR code offline, meaning like use that in print material, use that in handouts, use that in flyers, anywhere, because that's where I scan to go to the digital you. But if I'm already on with the digital you, it's like it's a loop, and I'm like blah, blah, blah. So am I crazy, or is that Ronnie, am I crazy? That's
no, as far as a customer journey, like I mean, it's just looping me back to a page I was already on. It's just now on my phone instead of on my computer, because that's just what I did. I just did it. I love QR codes just because it is a really nice way to bridge the gap between print material and online material. And it's really easy and a great way to do that. While as a designer, I think they're awful because I hate looking at them, but I get they're so functional. And
it's amazing what a compact they make.
Yeah. So I get over it. So I agree with Ashley on like, it puts me in this loop that I think I'm getting new information when I do it, and I'm not. I'm just going back to a page I was already on. But I think what you might have been trying to do here was fill that space with an image to make the page work better. And you're probably better off just putting a photo there. Just regular photo.
Like the QR codes, they're good. I keep getting tortured by them right now because I agree. I hate them. Like the only time I ever want to see a QR code. Now this is a designer having a tantrum, so just take it for what it is. The only time I want it is at a restaurant where the menu is there because of COVID. I don't want to see the damn thing.
Remember, my mom was an artist. It rubbed off on me. I get it.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't quite get on team QR code. Now let's give some shout outs. Evelyn Marsh was the very first client I worked with who like gave me QR codes. Even I tried to make it okay with. Then we had our amazing Michelle Williams on, who had a QR code. It's not just you. I want you to know this is not just you. This is actually
super functional.
But and I think they are really functional. And I think sometimes when we get something that we like, we start plastering it everywhere and not really thinking like where it should be. So I would just give you a little hint of like, keep that offline. Like you use it, put it on shirts, put it on keychains. I don't care where you use it, but anytime it's something digial, I wouldn't use it there. Again, just because that loophole. So that was one that stood out. Yeah.
Well, so, and two, I will put a little bit of statistics into this.
Yeah.
So 50% or more of all of your website traffic is going to be mobile. This is a fairly recent statistic in the website world. It used to be you could see about 20% of your traffic being mobile traffic and the rest still being traditional laptop, desktop kind of traffic. Just in the last, I'd say 2 to 3 years, that has changed. So over 50% of your traffic, and I can tell you this, I manage probably like 30 different websites. And then when I look at analytics on every single one of them, solidly 50 or more % is mobile traffic. And QR codes are made for mobile, right? So they're already on their phone. How are they even going to scan it or do it? So it's not functional already if most of your traffic's already on their phone. So hence why there's just no need for it in that regard. And so I that's one thing I will say about your website on the homepage. It is definitely mobile optimized because it's definitely pulling things in narrow, which is great for mobile. And honestly, 50% of your traffic's going to be on mobile. Everybody's on the go. We do it. I do it. I sit in my house and work on my phone instead of my laptop. I mean,
Well,
we're
I can
all
also
doing
see
it. So
just in
thinking about it in that regard, the QR code is useless for them if they're already on their phone.
Got it.
Yeah. And your caregiver is bedside. They're not computer.
Right.
Yeah.
That.
And
I need,
that's
I
actually
need an
really,
answer to this. I need
that's
this.
a really great point. Like probably even for you,
I
even
would
more.
focus
Yeah, statistics may be higher.
100% on anything mobile for yourself.
Yeah.
Anything. I would even
Yeah.
do work on the
Really good
website
point.
or computer or anything. I would like, there's actually some apps now out where it's kind of the link tree becomes, I want to move into link tree next, but the link tree are these other tools that basically it's like an app is your website. I feel like you are an app person. You need to be an app because that's where like it's 3 a.m. and someone just escaped the memory care unit, or it's something like you're almost an emergency resource, almost. And when I say just daily, I'm bedside. I'm assuming I'm bedside, I'm kitchen side, I'm making something. I'm never at the computer. I don't even have that time for myself, So like, I would really be mindful of that. Yeah.
Well, that's a good example of what you're talking about, as well as the QR code aspect, is that I think you may have seen them before, actually, my memo boards with tips and things like that.
No, I was curious what that was though.
Okay.
It was somewhere where it said like, do this for my memo board. And I was like, what the heck's a memo board?
Okay, so it's a magnetic memo board. The concept would be where do you see your clients? In the kitchen, talking about their person with dementia or bedside. So a magnetic dry erase memo board goes up on the fridge, has various tips as well as a to-do checklist. But in my most recent one, I added the QR code because I do want them to.
Now that is perfect.
That
Great
makes
execution
sense.
there. So my thing is like A for effort. Oh, let's give you a B- on execution because it's like, it's just, that's where I want you. I want, all of your efforts to be tangible. I feel like you need a very those memo boards. Okay. Now that I know that, anywhere that you have that, I would add magnetic memo board, because automatically I think, where do you put a magnet? There's really only one spot in our lives, which is the kitchen. But something, because a memo board, I got to be honest, I have no idea what that is. Like, are you going to send me a memo? Is this like a chat board? Like the wording is just off on that, but I love those. Yeah, I actually need one. So I need to meet you. Again, one thing I'd like to do.
I insist before you.
No, actually, I really need one. I'll tell you why later. So I want to do something that we've never done. I'd like to screen share and show everyone your link tree and then come back, because I want them to be able to see what I'm about to see. And I've never done this. So I just want to see really fast on a couple of things. So
Bill, you get to be like the new guinea pig on new things for us.
I know.
I love it.
No problem.
So let's see. I want to try something. I should be sharing my screen. I'm checking in on Facebook. Oh, they only see my desktop. How rude. Okay, we're going to try this one more time, everybody. Hold on. I really want them to be able to see this, but if they can't, like, just lame.
Oh, I've got an icon for each thing.
I know.
Right? I saw your logo.
You see it, but
Now I see it.
You see it now? Okay.
Yeah.
So that was not like a promo of me, I swear to God. Okay, but it works. Okay, so this is Linktree. I see us all now. If we talk, then we're like the speaker on it. So Facebook, thank you for allowing us. I just want to just show this really fast. So for reference, Linktree is it's a tool that you can use for like Instagram or anywhere that you're only allowed one link. And it's one link that creates a tree of links. And this is his. This again is A for effort. I'm going to be hard on you on this one. The first thing I said when I pulled this up was, oh my God.
There's a lot.
I was overwhelmed, and I'm not even a caregiver yet. Like, there's a lot. The only thing I want to say, because I don't want to call your baby ugly, is organize and prioritize. You are not the only person that does this, but this I see all the time, and I just want to actually, I do shake my phone. I'm like, no. Okay. we gotta, okay, number one, we want to think of the customer experience. Again, like the menu of your website. What did you want them to do? So first, want a gift, schedule a no string appointment. So you're always leading with you and booking you. So we got to put that down just a little bit. Then sign up for my blog, how to work with me. Let's talk my calendar. I love a review. I don't even know you yet. Donate to Team Sheila. Okay, who's Sheila? Join a share Facebook. And then down here, let's connect on LinkedIn, but technically you told me to connect with you on LinkedIn up here. So this needs a summer spring clean purge. Okay. So, like, does Clubhouse even exist still?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
But
Good to know.
Probably the least important.
Is there a Clubhouse? Is that Clubhouse? The icon up here? What's the little wavy thing? The curious cat wants to know what. Oh, that is Clubhouse. Okay, cool. Okay, so like, keep it up here for the people that need to know. Like, keep it up. I would take these two out and keep this up here. Also,
because it's redundant, right?
It is redundant. Yeah, I'm so glad you said that. Yes. And here you're telling me go to Facebook, then go to Instagram, then go to YouTube, then go to LinkedIn, then email me, then buy you. Like, what do you want me? I don't know this thing. PayPal. Okay, so now I'm supposed to pay you, and then I'm supposed to go to Clubhouse and then TikTok with you. Good God, man. Okay, so prioritize.
Where you need me to be.
I mean, this is amazing. This is an example of you and 90% of America talking about, you know, let's throw spaghetti at the wall. Like, this is the best spaghetti I've ever had in my life. I love it. But I want you to be booked. So if I'm exhausted, overwhelmed, I'm bedside with a caregiver, I'm going to click this and shut it, because no, just my first answer is no, like, no. What I love, again, with the simplicity of things is, first thing, I would rename all of this into like one word if you can, one word. So a no strings attached, like okay. I don't even know what this is. So if this is going to book a call with me, like, just
is that like a free strategy call?
Yeah, I want to click it. Now I'm just curious, guys. Up. It's a 60-minute meeting. Suitable for Zoom, coffee, lunch, to get acquainted, or for your initial free caregiving consult. For a more detailed
appointments, period.
Yeah. Let's just do you also, with Calendly, you could have multiple. So for this one, I would just do, like, it was supposed to be a quick chat, wasn't it? A gift. So
yeah, because I also have Calendly down below. So
oh no. Okay, so yeah, so long story short, I'm gonna give you just an itty bitty homework assignment, and I want you to go through here. Anything that's redundant, just take that off. Next, I want you to make this like one word, like book with me, visit, read my blog. That would be the longest one, or just put blog. Services, not how to work with me, services. View my calendar or something. Leave a review. That would be damn last on the list. Absolutely last on the list. Donate to Sheila, and okay, maybe that I might put like donate before leave a review. Actually, I'd put leave a review and then donate is the very two bottom ones. The Facebook community, great. If there's a name for that, I would put that, like the
dementia support group for caregivers of Bill Cohen, but it can be just dementia support group.
There you go. So that's what I would call that, because that's relevant.
So I'm going to jump into that a little bit. So this is a good example. Ashley and I talked about this in our website talk a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
This happens a lot on websites. And while, I mean, this is a link tree, which is basically a website. With websites, when you land on it, we ask people to do 100 different things. And so then they're like, I don't know what to do now, because you're asking me to learn more and to sign up and to buy now and to do all of these things, like right off the bat. And really, I need you to tell me the one thing you want me to do. Like, where do I start? What's the one thing you want me to do? And that needs to be the most prominent thing that kind of floats to the top above the fold, right? While I realize with link trees, we want to, put a bunch of links in there so that we can give them options, but people don't really want options. And your people specifically are already overwhelmed. they really need you to tell them what to do. Because that's how I would be. I mean, if it were me, I can picture myself in it already and go, I need you to tell me what to do because I don't know what I'm doing here.
If they knew what to do, they wouldn't need me.
Exactly. So,
Limiting belief, cancel, delete. I don't like that one. I'm going to call you out on that one. If they knew what to do, they wouldn't need me. That's desperate energy. You don't need that. You are an incredible resource anyone needs, whether they need you or not, because everyone needs you, whether it's their direct family or someone they know. You need to know you're enough and stand in that. Like, I got to cancel and delete that one. I just like you too much to let you say things like that. Stop it.
but so that all said, we kind of like reviewed on that. I actually did kind of like, I didn't necessarily join the Facebook group, but I jumped over there for a hot minute. And what I will say is with Facebook groups, how active is that Facebook group?
Pretty active, almost every day.
Engagement?
Me, somebody else is posting or commenting to others. Yeah, it's pretty active and growing. Growing. Which
is an amazing thing. Like that is your lead generator.
Yeah, start there.
And so when you're thinking about how you want people either to journey through the experience with you or engage with you, I have been seeing some people do this strategy, and it works. It works for some people, and some people it might not work. We can talk about like how that fits for you, but I am starting to see some people use their Facebook groups and communities as if it was their email list. So email marketing is one of these hot topics right now amongst a lot of people, in that people are bombarded by emails. I don't know about you, but I woke up to probably like 200 in my inbox this morning. Like, I mean, it's exactly. That's the reaction we get with email marketing. But the reason we do it is it still works, right? Kind of like pop-ups on your website. They're annoying as hell, but they work. So that said, with email being a little bit on the controversial side of like people going, ugh, it's awful. I'm seeing some people transition to Facebook groups and communities and using that as if it was an email list almost, and using that as your engagement lead generation source, because it's a captive audience that has opted into you. And so getting them to engage over there kind of now gives you a hot lead for lack of a better word. And I have seen some people use Facebook groups to get engagement. And then when they do launch something, that's their hot lead. Like, here, I'm going to post it in the group and this is my offering. It's my group. I'm allowed to.
Right.
So if you got a really active Facebook group, I think that there's some opportunity in leading them through a journey with trying to work with you.
And I think even on the link tree, to go back to that, just saying like, join the community. Now, oh my God, there's a community for me. There's others.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh. So like those words there. And again, this was just an awesome example of like, but I think for you every day, like if there's a way that you can kind of have it as like a visual cue or something, like get a picture of someone by a bedside, or just remember yourself. You know, sometimes I think this is the hardest part. It's so close to us. We can't see our own eyebrows. We don't know these things, but just have a picture by your desk of someone sitting by a bed, or in whatever your scenario is, a chair by a chair or something that like every day you wake up and you see your person and you're like, okay, how can I help that person right there by bedside? Those are magnets. Those are the handouts. Those are this, simplify it, like just get into the vibe of where they're at. I think that's really going to help you in knowing the execution of your business. Like, am I doing this the right way for my people? Because that I think will just help you to not have that.
So we could talk about a lot more, but I am going to say we are at an hour.
I know. Oh my God. How do we do that? Okay, so there it is.
So yeah, I know we are an hour mark and I don't want to cut it off, but I do want to say, Bill, what questions do you have for us? I mean, I know we talked a lot, so
too much fun. You let us just run
please,
with it.
What questions do you have for us even now that we've talked so much?
I'm not sure. I mean, Ashley was giving me grades throughout, and I mean, that was very helpful. That helped me gauge things, and I took it as good constructive criticism and motivation. So,
Good. Yeah, because again, I mean that, like, you are, okay, so this is going to sound weird, but you are a resource no one ever wants, but everyone needs. No one wants to know you. No one wants to be like, oh, it's Bill, let's do this. Like, that's not how people are going to come to you. They're going to come tail tucked. Oh shit, life hit the fan, either early on, too late. It's never going to be the right time. And they just need that, like, I don't know, this just popped into my head. The medic who shows up with the bag ready. Like, you don't ask a medic, like, what's my first step? How do I schedule a session? You just called 911 because, and I think in my mind with working with you, you're a 911 call. You're a shit moment, right? Like, oh shit, like this is happening. And I think I don't even want to look at your site because I don't want this to be real. Like, I'm in denial, right? So I was on your site.
I was going to mention denial. Yes.
Yeah, I was on your site just the other day, and we will discuss this in a different context later on, but this is me all of a sudden, and I had no idea. And so I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, at the day, it was like pros, cons, where are my angels at? Who do I know? Who can help? Where do I get started? So I think that might be helpful too, of just starting a new list of what are the questions people are asking you? What are their words? How, because I think that would be the optimal way of optimizing your messaging. Like, it's not about what you say. I actually would love for you to be like a mute business owner and like literally just, what are they saying? I'm in denial. I'm scared. Where do I start? What resources do I need? Positives, negatives, give me perspective. All of that, I would have made the title of your menu. Where do I start? How do I begin? You're okay. Like, I'm here to help. I think that's honestly the menu I would have done if I wanted to be cute about it, because that would have had it here. Oh, we have our Leilani. She's here in the chat with us. So Leilani is our third bestie, but she says, they do need you. The information that we are sharing is amazing. The services that Bill offers is very needed. This season we are coming into, the holiday season, is one of the biggest opportunities to get in front of people like yourself, Bill. There are the conversations these are the conversations families are having. So yeah, unfortunately, especially holiday season is like this perfect grief season. It's good and bad in all the ways. We all want to put a bright red bow on it, but for a lot of us, it's a black bow of like, this might be the last time, this might be this. So I think they
haven't seen their aging family member, and they're seeing these disturbing signs, and oh crap.
Yeah,
exactly. So I don't even think it would be bad if your company, literally your business marketing, said, oh crap. Like, I think that would be very relevant to everyone sitting bedside. And kind of for the first time, I would use profanity as a relaxing tool. Honestly, like, oh shit, like that, because this is an oh shit moment.
Got a little emoji that everybody knows by now, because it's still funny.
Yeah, well, it's relatable.
Yeah, it's like, honest. It's meeting them where they're
authentic.
Yeah,
like where they're at.
I don't want, I mean, it's great you're a speaker, but I don't want a public speaker helping me. I want someone very private. I want somebody confidential. I don't even know how the person in my life wants me to be in this, with this, you know, like when my mom had breast cancer, mom was the word. We weren't allowed to say she had breast cancer. My dad got reamed a new one when he went to church and was like, we're praying for Mary. Like, it was quiet. Mom's the word. Some people are very into like the cancer walks and the Alzheimer's walks, and they want the support, but I need you neutral until I tell you how I want you. You know what I mean? Now that's a personal thing too, but just seeing where everyone is at.
Yeah. And really, when we're talking about speaking, because this is kind of a marketing strategy for myself, speaking gigs are really just a marketing strategy. You know,
building awareness, educating.
Yeah. While I mean, it'd be awesome to get paid to be a professional speaker. That's great. That's few and far between. And that's a hard career to get into. Let me tell you, that's tough. But using speaking and podcasts and interviews and guest blog posts, things like that, are really just your marketing strategy, right? Like, you know, you don't necessarily need to put that on your site. I will say, if you do a lot of media, you can have like your media kit, because some people, like some organizations, podcasters, event organizers, want to kind of see your media kit. I would have it, and I would have it digitally, either not linked in your navigation and you just give it to people, or a link in the footer. Right. So it's kind of like, it's there, it's at the bottom. If I'm really searching for you as a speaker, I'd be able to find it. But I wouldn't necessarily put that as the forefront. But I will say having a digital media kit is really helpful.
Yeah. I just think you're so needed. But again, you're like, even as a speaker, it's like if you were a breakout speaker, it's one of those I don't want to go to, but I know I need to be there. Like it's just that of it. And I think also in the marketing, the purple is very calming. I love that on a psychological level. I think the picture, the artistry of you and your mom is very personable. I think it's all you're creating a safe space, but I want you even more conscious of the fact you are a safe space incubator for a caregiver that has no freaking idea what is happening, or is so overwhelmed by what is happening that I want you like a cushy landing spot, like just like kid gloves on, padding. They're coming in real raw and hot off the like runway of like shit, right? So I think all of this is, I hope, helpful. Yeah, it is. And I do know in every element you are excelling. I know you, I've heard of you. I think you have put out great information. I see you as a resource. My thing for you that I really also just want to remind you of is you've got to get rid of this questioning of your value and worth, because it's there. You've got to own this one. You're an incredible resource, and having any kind of doubt or whatever the word I'm looking for that I said earlier behind it will also, you'll feel it. People will feel it in that. And I think it's like some industries, you're just needed. Nobody, like, I don't know. You don't need to doubt it at all.
Oh, I don't. A lot less than I used to. Of course, I've been doing it for a few years now.
Yeah.
And as far as
it takes a while.
what I'm charging, again, that eWomen meeting, when I asked that question, was gold, because nobody balked.
Yeah.
It was great advice. I probably will raise it again first of the year. So.
I love it. I almost want to invite you back, because you are such a good human. I feel like you're going to go, you're going to implement this, and I want to see it as like the enhanced next version of it. So we'll have you back and then we'll showcase it. But for anyone that needs your support, where are the best ways that we can connect with you? Where should caregivers go to find you first, or all the ways?
Well, after I update my website.
Cohen, no, the website's still good now. The website.
Cohen, caregivingsupport.com.
Cohen, caregivingsupport.com. Okay. And I love that.
Who I help and what I do.
Love it.
I was gonna say, your phone number is right there at the top. So
yeah, that's the biggest thing too, because I may not even read. I might just directly call, right? Like I found someone, call. Like, so lead with that too.
My most recent client, what is it? Three brothers. And he said, okay, I found you on Google. I found the website, which is always good to hear, right? And he says, I see your reviews. You sound too good to be true. Are they made up? I said, no, they're absolutely genuine, from people that I helped or people I've collaborated with. Absolutely. Yeah.
I love that. I think we should wrap up here, but Bill, thank you for allowing us into your business and supporting you, because we think you're just iconic and an authority, and anything that we can do so that you can do the work that you do is like an honor for both of us. I think I can say that for Ronnie too, but Ronnie, final thoughts, words?
I mean, I think this is a really good example of things we see a lot. So I think that is also nice to know, because even Ashley and I do this when we talk with each other about stuff, to go, oh, like I am normal. Like this is normal.
This is normal. This is so normal.
This is normal,
this is
and
our
we're
dream
not-
client, to be
we're
honest.
not
Like,
alone. Like, I mean, I'm sure one of us could jump on either one of our websites and be like, you could do that a little better. You know, like
we all have it right now. Mine is going up for, yep, we're editing
yeah, I
right
mean,
now as
so,
we speak.
so like, yeah, you're not alone in this entrepreneurial journey of how this stuff unfolds. Like it's the same, like we're all going through it, and we all have these same thoughts. We all have these same questions about how to like do it better and just, you know, make more impact in the world.
Whether it says a guinea pig or poster child, I appreciate all the feedback today. And being on with you guys. I'd love to do
I love it. And I'm going to leave you with something. We have a connection for you. So Leilani Filipinko was commenting on this. So when you go to Facebook and you watch the video, I want to introduce you to her as well. And I'll have to set up an email introduction or something. But she is a licensed long-term care agent and thinks that you two would make a great partnership as far as referral partners. So no matter what, we want to make sure that you get connected with her as well. So whether you reach out to her, she reaches out to you, I make the introduction, something, just make sure you two connect, because that would be a really great power partner for you.
Yeah.
All right. The abrupt end has come. So again, thank you everyone watching us live or on the replay. We're here to serve you. If we can help you, share our zone of genius with you, it's our pleasure to do so. We are live every Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard, 1 p.m. Eastern. Your could be our next guest. So reach out, let us know if you're interested in being a hot seater, if you want to come on and have a conversation, you want to come back because you implement the work that we share with you and showcase it, because that would be, now that we know we can screen share, I want to like show off the website. I want to show off everything. And final thoughts for me are just going to be like, thank you for doing what you do. That's my final thought. Ronnie?
Yeah, sure. No, I 100% agree with that.
Good. Bill, any final thoughts?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Hope to see you soon.
Bye, everybody.
All right, bye.